Alright, welcome back, Cal Folk and friends. This is the Bebop, the no perk build, and I'm just going to get into it right away. So let's get into the builder and start breaking it down. The two brands that I used most are Stroud, like for the cockpit for instance, and Tayo for most of the cowling and shape. And then there's a little bit of Demos in there, but it doesn't matter much what you use for HABs. It really just matters for the shape of the cockpit and some of the cowling. So let's just go from the tip of the deck all the way back to the engine half. And in the anime, the Bebop used to be a fishing trawler, and it was converted into a long-haul spaceship. So it has the front half of a boat and the back half of kind of this long-haul spaceship. So I tried to emulate that and recreate that here without using perks. Tayo I use for the front half mostly, except for the landing bay, which is an NG6 landing bay from Nova. Mostly because that one's like thin and boat-like, and I enjoy it. And let's just break this all apart. So we'll just take that, take those Stroud caps, and then I use Tayo Engineering 3x1 to kind of emulate that landing way. And then we have our landing bay. And you see here, you come up through the landing bay into the 3x1 HAB, but I've connected for body and form. I've connected another landing bay, and this one's a Hope Tech because it's rounded, and I happen to be in the Hope Tech system at the time. So I add that to the bottom to give it more base. Now, you also have 2x1s on either side of this, we'll call it a road, I guess, or a strip. And any brand's fine, but what you do want, maybe not, are these particular types of HABs that have connectors on the outside. And I have a workshop and a science lab for gameplay. Let's just keep moving along, right? So that makes up most of the front end. And then this cockpit is kind of close. There are closer ones to the anime version, but not without perks, as far as I can tell, anyway. I might be wrong. So I like the Viking cockpit. It's pretty cool inside, and also kind of reminds me of the actual cockpit from the anime. And then I connected these two electron beams to the side of the cockpit, because in the anime, on the side of the cockpit, there are two like crane arms, and that just doesn't exist in here. So I wanted to like get the visuals and still have something functional. The other thing that we have here is the companion 1x1, which connects the front half of the ship with the cargo hold. And in the anime, this space would act as kind of a garage way for Spike's ship to fly out. But of course we don't have garages here, so I put a window there instead. But if you like that garage-like aesthetic that it has, then go for it. I would say no window. To get into our cockpit, we have to come up through the landing bay into the 2x1, into the 1x1, and then into the cargo bay, which is a 3x3 from Hope Tech, and then into this 1x1, which is another Hope Tech module, and then that will take us right into our cockpit. So Not exactly it's quick and easy to navigate, but neither is the Bebop in the anime, I guess. Good. All right, let's talk about the back half. I'll just move these out of the way. Not too good at it. There we go. So you'll notice in the anime that there's kind of like this rounding that leads up to the cockpit. So I emulated that with these Dogstar tanks. You can get these almost anywhere. I believe I got them at the in Neon, I think. Okay, so we're moving these out of the way. Now we have the cargo hold, and beneath the cargo hold, or right before we get to the cargo hold, we have some landing gear, because it's a heavy ship, you'll need it. There's that extra base I was talking about earlier. And then to make up the back half, I have my reactor, and connected to the reactor we have, why don't we just move this? Yeah, that'll work better. Connected to the reactor we have some cargo, and we have our grav drive. And then connected to the grav drive we have these bracers. The bracers connect to the landing gear on the outside. Right, so that helps support the whole ship. And these cargo holds are just cowling for the shape, nothing really more. Then I have these 4 engines back here. I put a Amun 3, but they were all Amun 2s, so you can use all Amun 2s. You could even use 6 of them, 6 Amun 1s if you want. It doesn't matter as long as you have some mobility, and the ship doesn't really have a lot, but at least there are some. Right? So that's it for the back half. Really, it's quite simple. The thing you have to look out for when playing with the shape and the size of the Bebop is the highest point and your docker, because your docker has to clear the highest or widest points of your ship. And I struggled with that a lot when making this one. So this docker on top of this whole back half, you see that ring there, just clears the, let me see if I can get it, yeah, just clears the back wing bracers. And that's an important part, otherwise you can't finish your build and you won't be able to dock anywhere. Okay, so that's it for that ship. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will be happy to share more. See ya, Space Cow folk.